Folks, so the Sizzle Season 2024 update patch notes have just dropped from Nintendo, so we're going to take a look through them and check out everything that is new. By the way, I just want to quickly apologize if my mic quality isn't as good as usual. I'm having to work with a different mic at the moment, but things will be back to normal soon. So let's start off. On June 1st, 2024, data relating to Sizzle Season 2024 is added to the game. This includes a new catalog, including new gear, titles, banners, decorations, stickers, and emotes. One new battle stage, Lemuria Hub. 2 new main weapons and 2 variant sets of those weapons with different sub and special weapons. 6 new sets of existing main weapons paired with different sub and special weapons. 14 new table turf battle cards. Changes to multiplayer. Added 2 songs that'll play during battles. These songs will start playing from the beginning of the fresh season 2024. Clearly a typo here, they meant Sizzle season, so yeah, we'll get those right at the start of the new season. New main weapons have been added. These weapons will be available in the shops at the start of the Sizzle season 2024. So here they are, of course. We already know about these. They shared these over on Twitter and the trailer ages ago, so I'm not going to re-elaborate what those are. However, there is more kind of info here. A stringer that fires 5 ink shots at once. Just like the tri-stringer, if you charge up to a certain amount, the ink shots will freeze and explode where they land. Unlike other stringers, if you charge up to a certain amount, its ink will be fired in a wider spread. And then for the mint decavitator and charcoal decavitator, a splatana with a wide horizontal attack range for its charge swipe. The charge swipe has a long lunge to quickly close distance with opponents. And here are all of the new kits as well, including the new weapons too, and you can see all of the new subs and specials for them as well here. So yeah, we basically knew all of these already through Twitter, like I mentioned, but in case you want to pause the video and just recap yourself and everything, then here you go. Terrain for some stages has changed, so they have made a lot of updates here, as you can see, to the different maps in the game. Now, what's interesting is some of these, like Barnacle and Diamond Hammerhead Bridge, which they advertised over on Twitter, they clearly show here that they've had significant changes. For example, change terrain in all modes to increase routes into the center and options for strategic points. Very good. Hammerhead Bridge. Change terrain in all modes to increase routes into the center and options for strategic points once again. So that's very good. But continuing downwards, we can see the changes get a little bit more minor, and I'm going to kind of explain what I think those are. For Museum di Alfonsino, however, they say change terrain in all modes and change the shape of walls surrounding the center in the following modes, Splat Zones and Rainmaker. So they didn't really advertise that change at all, so it's definitely interesting to know this one has gotten an update too. But all of these got updates as well that we did not know about before these patch notes. And they mentioned change terrain in all modes and then slightly change terrain in all modes. Now, based on some images we have seen on Twitter, it appears like the changes they are referring to here are simply them adding in some new objects to the maps. Now, until the update actually drops tomorrow, we won't know for sure exactly every single change. I will try and make a video on that when I can, but it does generally seem like the main thing here is new objects in these maps, as we've seen them do with some other map updates in the game. So nothing hugely exciting here really. And for this one, it's only got it in Turf War and Splat Zones, and this one's only got Clan Blitz. But yeah, I think the changes are fine. We'll have to see. I know people aren't a huge fan of them just adding boxes and poles to the maps, but that tends to be what we get a lot of in Splatoon 3, so what are you going to do? Specifications for some main weapons have changed. Sploosh-O-Matic and Neo-Sploosh-O-Matic. Damage dealt to Splash will increase by about 10%. Splattershot Jr. and Custom Splattershot Jr. Damage dealt to Splash will increase by 10%. Aerospray MG and Aerospray RG. Damage dealt to Splash will increase by about 10% once again. NZAP 85 and NZAP 89 increase the time it takes for the chance of shot scattering, which increases when firing continuously to reach its maximum. L3 Nozzle Nose and L3 Nozzle Nose D. Maximum damage has been increased from 29.0 to 31.0. Lunar Blaster Neo, Lunar Blaster, and Order Blaster Replica. Damage dealt to Splash will increase by about 10%. Clash Blaster and Clash Blaster Neo. Damage dealt to Splash will increase by about 10%. Rapid Blaster Deco. Reduce the amount of time it takes for ink to begin recovering after firing for about 1/20th of a second. Carbon Roller and Carbon Roller Deco. Damage dealt by horizontal swings and vertical swings to Splash will increase by about 10%. Splat Roller, Crack on Splat Roller, and Order Roller Replica. Damage dealt by horizontal swings and vertical swings to Splash Wall increased by about 10%. So lots of nerfs here to Splash Wall clearly, which is very interesting. Once again, for the Ink Brush and Ink Brush Nouveau, damage dealt to Splash Wall increased by about 10%. This has also been increased by about 10%, the damage to Splash Wall. The Dapple Julies and Dapple Julies Nouveau, damage dealt to Splash Wall increased by about 10% once again. Tri-Stringer, Inkline Tri-Stringer, and Order Stringer, the area of terrain inked by falling spray has been increased. Adjusted the positioning of falling ink spray to make it easier to connect ink in an uninterrupted straight line. Reflux 450 and Reflux 450 Deco made it possible to charge in midair at the same speed as when on the ground. So some very interesting changes and a lot here focused on Splash Wall, which I find really interesting. I wonder how people are going to feel about that. I would like to know. Here we have the special changes as well. Reef Slider now inks along the rails as the rails extend before launch. When the active terrain is moving, the rails will now move along with it. Big Bubbler now inks the ground where it is placed. Ink Vac. The ground slightly behind the user will be inked periodically whilst it is active. Splatter Color Screen. Increase the damage dealt to the following when touched by the screen: Squid Beacon, Sprinkler, Splash Wall, Sponge, and Rainmaker Shield. And as we can see here, points required for some special weapons have been changed as well. So a little buff here for the Big Swig, a little buff here as well for the Paintbrush, a nerf for the Custom E-Liter, and a nerf for the Custom E-Liter Scope. Made it so that when using a Julie dodge roll or a Splatana's charge, swipe, lunge towards the Rainmaker Shield, the direction of movement will be adjusted so that players do not take excessive damage from touching the Rainmaker Shield. Made it so that when the season switches and ranks are changed, the ranks for players whose X rankings for the previous season were in the top 1000 ranks in any mode will be changed to rank S+0 regardless of the immediately previous rank, and those players will be able to participate in X battles from the start. This will be determined based on the ranks at the point when the news at the time of the season change is seen. Made it so the number of times allies use Squid Beacons placed on a player count towards the number 1 super jump spot and number 2 super jump spot medals. Here we have changes to Splatfest. Made it possible to get conch shells when you win in 10 times battles, 100 times, and 3 times battles. So for 10 times you'll get 1, for 100 times you'll get 10, and for 3 you'll get 33, which is a lot, so you'll definitely want to win those. In Splatfest battles, when you battle against your own team, on rare occasions, a conch clash, 10 times conch clash, or a free conch clash will occur. If you win, you can earn conch shells. The rate of conch clashes occurring is the same as the rate for 10 times battles occurring when you battle against other teams. The more you win conch clash, the more often 10 times conch clash and 3 conch clash will occur. And you can see here it's the exact same numbers as above, so that's definitely good to know. When you win a 10 times conch clash or a 3 conch clash, you'll be able to board the Splatfest float and take a picture. You can board the Splatfest float from the pledge box in Splatsville. Changes to Salmon Run. A special triumvirate, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of that, so I'm sorry. Extra wave can now occur. In this extra wave, 3 king salmonids can attack at once. Number of fish scales you obtain will be triple the normal amount. So what's interesting about this is they say it can just occur in regular extra waves, it seems like. So does that mean it won't just be for big runs, it'll just be for Salmon Run in general? Because if so, that would definitely be really cool, and that's something I would personally hope they do. But we'll just have to wait and see. I'm not entirely sure if that's what they mean here. Grizzco Julies have received a little buff here, going from damage 30.0 to 35.0. Added data for a new Grizzco loaned weapon. This will be the Grizzco Roller. Added items that can be exchanged for fish scales. Made it so that the repelled torpedoes fired by drillers are less likely to come into contact with terrain. It will now be possible to get decorations corresponding to certain conditions met at Grizzco. When you have collected golden badges for all job stages, when you've repelled and cleared a triumvirate attack at hazard level max. Changes to Splatnet 3, added Journey 6 to Wondercrust. Players will be able to support Journey 6 after completing Journeys 1 through 5. Journey 6 can only be supported with points earned by inking turf from Sizzle Season 2024 onwards. Changes to DLC, added 10 Sheldon licenses as items you can get from the DLC Battle Boosting bonus. The DLC Battle Boosting bonus is included in the expansion pass. Players who have already received the battle boosting bonus will also be able to receive the 10 Sheldon licenses by accessing the lobby terminal after playing the update data. That's really great, so a little DLC update here, a little new perk for players. I think that's a really good addition. It basically means you'll be able to get all of those new kits and weapons right away at the start of a season if you have the DLC, so that is great to hear. Other changes made it so that when equipping the squeezer or foil squeezers in battles and stamina run, continuously pressing the ZR button in quick succession at shorter intervals than the weapon's normal fire interval will lengthen the interval until the next shot is fired. The squeezer and foil squeezer are designed as weapons that players can use more efficiently by pressing the button with proper timing. This change is to prevent players from using these weapons at maximum efficiency when ignoring the timing and repeatedly mashing the button extremely quickly. The adjustment has been made in a way so that those using the weapon normally will not be affected by the change. Friend request harassment has been added to the option selectable when reporting users after battles or jobs. Now here they basically just recap us on everything and why they've gone ahead and changed certain things, so if you do want to read that information, I will link to the patch notes down in the description. Something interesting they do say is that the next update will focus on changes to the balance of battles and is planned for the middle of the Sizzle season. So we're still expecting to see the mid-season balance patch as usual. So let me know your thoughts about all of these changes down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about everything. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for more videos.